Hello, can you see me?
Yes.
Am I echoing back?
Hi and welcome to the IBD and Ostomy support show. We've got Rachel in hospital, and Louise is off tonight. So it's just the three of us, and you have to bear with us, I'm afraid. I'm Steffi from Colitis to Ostomy, and this week's topics have been whether you shower or bathe with a bag on or off, and can you tell I don't do this very often?
You're doing good. And food.
And the 6 weeks post-op food. I was trying to get that out of my mouth, but it was not working. Baby brain. In the last couple of weeks, because I missed last week with Sahara, which was devastating. But I've had my baby, and I've just been enjoying some family time with them because Stephen goes back to work on Monday. And I'll be doing it all. Whereas last time round, he worked late, so he did the night feeds, and I did everything during the day. So I'm a bit terrified, if I'm honest. And we went to see Wonder Woman today, which if you haven't seen it, it's really good. You should go see it. Although it did feel like a scene out of Black Books because the film did not start for 40 minutes. It just was black screen for 40 minutes. So yeah, that was interesting. So I will pass you over to Natalie.
Hello, I'm Natalie, Spoonie Mummy. This week I have been pretty busy. We went to town yesterday, did some holiday shopping. Today I've had a driving assessment. It's a whole long story. I don't even want to go into why I've got to have one. But I was absolutely terrified. The worst thing I ever had to do was take my driving test the first time. So to do this was just a nightmare, but I think it went okay. So all being well, I'll get the results in about 3 to 4 weeks, I think, and that'll all be sorted out. Tomorrow I am at the hospital, orthopedic doctor again, about my locking knee. See if he's got any more information from Southend yet, or whether he's probably going to have to redo all the tests, which I imagine he will have to do, to find out whether it's arthritis damage or something to do with one of the ligaments, maybe. What else have I done? We had a really good weekend. We had later both days, and I had the boys, so we were all up in Halifax. Went to the park, enjoying the sunshine. And that's about it. I'll hand you over to Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel, aka Rockin' Two Stomas. I'm so sorry, I'm having problems trying to find a room, and yeah, so after last Thursday when I was practically falling asleep, I got admitted on Saturday. My kidney function's not great with the kidney failure, but my conduit keeps blocking. So I was hoping that there would be a quick answer and have an operation, so it would stop sepsis and stop kidney infection. But unfortunately, I'm not well enough, and I wouldn't survive the surgery. So I have to just get on with it, which I've probably been burying my head in the sand, doing too much work and not actually concentrating on getting better. But I do feel much better than I did last Thursday. Like I'm more awake. I've now got a catheter in squirt, so I'll show you just so now I've got a catheter in them, and it's draining much better. So I'm hoping that will be okay. And we're checking my thyroid function because I'm very lethargic. But apart from that, I'm okay. I'm in hospital so much, like it's a regular occurrence. I do my usual thing. I have my eye mask and head earplugs, so I just sort of crack on with it really. But tomorrow I'm going to try and see if I can sleep a bit more, but I do feel much better than last Thursday. So yeah, so that's me for this week.
Do you find that when you go to the doctors now and you almost know you're going to be admitted, because you sort of know, don't you, I think, when that's going to happen, do you take a bag with you now?
Yeah, I have a bag already packed, so I think I know that if I spike in a temperature and I know if there's anything above 38 and I call my GP, he just gets my ass to hear. But I called 111 because the pain was getting worse, and then they admitted me. And I think you're right. I kind of just know when I'm going to get admitted, and I just make sure that.
Used to.
Did you?
When I used to flare, obviously, when I had active disease before I got with Stephen, I could guarantee if I went to the doctor, I would be admitted. Like 90% of the time, I was admitted, and it was ridiculous. And then I would, this time around, like last year, if I just knew if I went to A&E, they were just going to admit me straight away. So I was told that I could go to A&E because I needed specialist care, whereas the out-of-hours GP would just send me there anyway. So
yeah.
But yeah. So, did we do a poll? Because I took some time off.
We did. I did just a basic one yesterday, just for 24 hours to see what people prefer to do, whether they bathed with a bag on, bathed without a bag, showered without a bag, or showered with a bag. And the preference came out, nobody chose bathing without a bag. But the favourite preference was either showering with a bag or showering without a bag, which both got 43% of the vote. I only did it as a quick thing just to sort of see what people did as a preference. But I did actually then get a comment just after that about a lady who, she's only had her stoma a few weeks. She's just doing amazingly well. She's going out. She went swimming yesterday. She sent me pictures of her in a swimming costume. Like, she's just doing brilliantly. And today she took a bath without a bag on. And I was just like, oh, wow. She was like, it was lovely. It was really good. I was like, Stanley is a bit unpredictable and I can't do that. But I shower pretty much, unless he's really, really active, I will take my bag off for my shower every night.
I know a lot of people with colostomies bathe without a bag on because it's more regular for them. They know roughly a few that I spoke to, I know, can tell when they have like a time that they know they're gonna have their movement or whatever. But for ileostomies, it is so unpredictable. I have a bath with a bag on and a shower without.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But I think even if I had a colostomy, that's what I would do. But so, because Rachel, your
routine, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's got their own routine, and it doesn't matter if it's different to someone else's. It doesn't matter. But Rachel wrote a good post the other week about bathing with an ostomy.
Yeah, I was quite surprised actually by the feedback I had from my blog. So I shared it along different platforms, and I was quite surprised because I found that majority of people I can't remember which one it was on now, but majority of people actually bath without the stoma bags, which I was quite surprised, and it made me feel quite proud actually, because like I wish I could bathe and shower without my bags, but because I've got this massive prolapse on Bob, the ileostomy, like the chances of it contaminating with squirt, the urostomy, and causing more infection and sepsis is too high. So I've been advised not to do that. And I think, I'm not sure if that's the general rule for double baggers. I need to find that out. I might ask the doctor later, but I'm not sure if that's advised, or because we've got to be careful of cross contamination. But it was really good reading all the posts. Like, the reason why I wrote the post was I was so shocked, and I've been talking to a nurse about it today, about how many people, like nurses, were suggesting like you're not ever allowed, especially on ward 5 on the urology ward, you're not ever allowed to bath with a urostomy. And and when I first heard that, I was just horrified, because they told me I couldn't at the beginning. I just thought there were people I met that for years haven't bathed because of that advice. So I was very adamant of getting it across that, as long as your scar's healed and, you haven't got any coverings on the wound, then you can bath. Because for me, it's a luxury. I know, Steffi, you like your baths, don't you? Like, I couldn't live without them.
I do. I like to have a bubble bath. Although I have a 3-year-old that likes to either attack the bubbles or just dive in with me. And it's like, thanks for that. but she's not got any issue with me having a stoma and her jumping in the bath, which is good. So, in fact, I think she bathes with me more now.
They just accept it though, don't they?
Yeah. Which was nice to see with all the kids talking about stomas and stuff. The only good thing Lyra Beth can actually think of is the fact that I was able to have a baby. So not the fact that I got better or the fact that I can do things with her now. No, it's just because I gave her a baby brother.
You just got a baby.
I love the pictures though of Rara and Jacob. They are so adorable. They make me smile when I feel so grumpy and on one. They make me smile. She's just so loving. And you can see how much she loves him. It's lovely.
Yeah, it is nice. I was really worried that she was going to be horrible like me. Apparently I was horrible to my little sister. I still am, I think, but whatever. You know, we're both adults, but
I'm not sure why I'm getting a call from Steve Cartmel.
Oh,
is he trying to get on?
I just wondered if he was.
I had messaged him asking if he wanted to join in tonight, and I think he went for a sleep. I think he's messaged me, but
He was planning to before the sleep. I spoke to him, and he did say that he was going to come on, so we might see him.
Just excuse me while I'm bending down to try and see if I can get him the link.
Because it'd be nice if we could join in.
It's nice to know a guy's point of view as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it'd be good, and also like there is something that I want to cover at some point. That I have massages, so and I remember being a lady that had a stoma was quite a shock that I would lie on the bed flat, even with the prolapse, and have a massage. And I think spa is have you girls been to a spa with your stomas?
No, not yet, but I am planning to.
Ooh.
There's a girl in Darlington that's just had her stoma refashioned. So I think when she's healed, we've been saying since like last year that we were going to meet up because she's literally 45 minutes, if that, away from me. So
wow.
And there's a spa. There's a Bannatyne's in Darlington.
Oh, is it? Oh, nice.
Yeah. So if you're watching, Jess, I haven't forgotten.
I went to a spa about a couple of months ago with my carer, and we went to a really posh one, and it was so nice. It was like the jacuzzi had like, I don't know, like some like 10 different types, and because I used the Brava extender tapes that Natalie uses. I find that they're amazing. Even the prolapse pushing the bag off, like, you know, I spent the whole day in the spa and it stayed on, and I have no issues with people, you know, looking at me. When I had my super catheter, like the last 7 years, I would go around like bikini with either my ileostomy or just have the cover the bag with a leg warmer so kids couldn't see the wee. So I didn't really have an issue with that. So I don't really mind. I like it when people ask you and sort of ask you what's wrong, and I sort of, you know, I kind of like that. But it's good. But I think it's important to still know that you can treat yourself, like, because that was a big question, was having a spa. That doctors could, at the time, I remember asking them, they couldn't answer it.
See, I think I know a few people don't like the barrier rings with, not the barrier rings, the tape extenders with the Manuka honey in. I think the hydro frames from Clinimed, because they break down. And I don't mind that, because when they break down, you can actually take them off and put a new one on. So if you're wearing, because I've pretty much run out of my Danzak bags now. So I'm going to try the Coloplast again, and hopefully I don't get a reaction again, because since I'm not pregnant. And with the Coloplast Sensorial Meal being waterproof, you could just peel the extender off without affecting the adhesive on the bag. Whereas all the other ones, I can't get the extender off without affecting the adhesive on my bag.
Oh, okay. Well, have you
So-
tried Brava as well?
Yeah, most of the Brava products I react to. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just have really stupid skin.
I find it so interesting and so like mind-boggling how we are all literally like different, like how some people react to different products than others. Some find others a lot better than different ones. Like at the moment, I've ran out of my bags for the urostomy, and trying to fit this catheter into the bag has just been a nightmare. I had like 3 accidents last night, and we've had to use oxygen tubing as the connector because they haven't ordered any connectors here, so I've attached that. And it's yeah, we were laughing about how when you don't have your stuff, you try and be creative.
I was just looking through because we came up with this topic because I'd posted a thing out before last week's show about if anybody had any ideas or anything they wanted us to talk about, and a couple of people mentioned it. One person, Mark, said it's been a year now with his bag and he's still scared to have a bath. Like he literally hasn't even had a bath with his bag on. He said, am I just being silly? Are there things I can do to keep maximum stick on my bag as I suffer from back pain and miss a good soak? So I suggested the Brava tape except, or any that he would get on with. I suggested the Brava ones. They work really well for me. But nobody's silly for asking things. And like you said, a lot of doctors and stuff tend to tell you things like, oh, you can't do that anymore. And they would just rather stop you doing it than look into the realities of it, sort of thing, if that makes sense.
I'm really lucky with my surgeon. I haven't seen him since last year, I think now. But then again, when I got pregnant, he was like, I don't want to see you now until you've had the baby because I'm not going to do any surgery on you or anything. And both him and my stoma nurses were just like, do whatever you want, try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's too many people that are giving advice on stuff or providing information that they don't know anything about. So in a sense, the medical professionals can't tell you the day-to-day life stuff, but you still need like okay from them when you try new products, really. Because I mean, let's face it, if it's a prescription, it needs signing off by a doctor or your stoma nurse.
I've just got to go. I have a small person making sign language gestures at me. Sorry.
Oh, but I completely agree with that, Steffi. Like I think they don't know the everyday, how it is everyday living with the ostomy, and I think, yeah, you need to have their go okay. That if you're able to, because some scars don't heal for months, and you're not allowed to get them wet. But if you are, then I think it's just trying it with the bags off. Make sure, first try with the bags on, make sure you've got your change there, make sure like it's all cut already. And then when you come out and it's thoroughly dry, and then apply it. But sometimes, if I'm honest, like I don't always change my bags after a bath. Like the extenders are that good that sometimes I don't. Like I am either tired or can't be bothered, or find that they're okay and I don't. So I think it's finding. What I've noticed with ostomy, like having a stoma, is what is preference to you, and what somebody might prefer might not be what you prefer. But as long as it doesn't do you any harm, then I think it's okay. It's just trial and error.
Yeah, I mean, I personally take mine off and change it. Like I had a really bad leak yesterday, and I was devastated because I had Jacob on my chest, and I was like, Steve, you need to come and get him. And he was like, why? In fact, I think I said, oh crap. And then when he got over, I was like, I've leaked. He's like, oh, literally, oh crap. I was like, yeah, thanks for that.
Oh.
And, like, I was really good because I quite like the Welland bags because they're bigger, but they're not too big. They still fit in, because I'm currently wearing the vanilla blush underwear to make sure everything's off my C-section scar. And you just mentioned about, if your scar's healed. I know I can have a shower with my C-section scar, but I've just gone and had like a bath for an hour, and now my scar's hurting. And I'm like, oh.
But you're such a rebel, Steffi. You're like exactly like me. I'm being a rebel on the ward as per usual, and like you're such a rebel. Like I think even we just have to push it, And then we wonder why but I think it's just how we are. I think like as long as tomorrow you make sure it's not got any infection, it's okay. But yeah,
well, the midwife's coming tomorrow.
That's good.
But the state of the scar is such a mess anyway. I think it's a mess. It's not exactly my first abdominal scar, so. But
it'll probably heal beautifully, but
yeah. I don't know.
Well,
Bad communication, I think.
Isn't it?
I've got a horrible looking scar because they've just been in it literally like probably getting double figures now, and it's just all stretched and where I've put weight, lost weight. And I just I look at it and I think of it of love now. I just think, yeah, it's just my big battle scar. And it's like, I'm actually okay with it. So it's.
With my first surgery was open surgery. And when it was still healing, and in fact still had a bandage on, because this is how clever I was, I went into the sea and up off the coast, there's like all the ICI plants and stuff, which are like chemical plants and things. And like I remember getting infections and my scar split open twice. And now whether it's just I got an infection because I was in the sea and it has nothing to do with the ICI because they're not allowed to pump stuff into the sea, I'm pretty sure. So, but I never thought about my scar like that. I just did stuff. And then I've now got, it looks like a crucifix, my stomach, upside down crucifix. So I just don't care anymore. Stephen doesn't care, so why should I care?
No.
It's like the stretch marks.
Eventually you get to that point, don't you? It can take a while, and it can take a lot longer for some than others, I think. But
yeah.
But you reach a point where you're like, it's just not important anymore. You're alive and okay-ish.
It's a process, I think. It takes time. It takes sometimes it's good when I see on the groups that people have just had surgery, ostomy surgery, because it helps me remember what it was like back then, because sometimes it's really easy, like my ileostomy, I think it's either around the 6th year in July or 7th year, I'm not sure, and then my urostomy, I'm 2 years the end of this month, and like it's so easy to forget. Like I forget, how I felt before my ileostomy surgery and how I felt after my ileostomy surgery because it's so long ago. And I think it's important to still hear people's stories and it reminds me of what it's like because it's easy to forget. I think it's easy to be, live today, live what, if you've got problems or live life, and it's easy to forget actually what it was like back then. So it's good to remember, like helping a newcomer or somebody who's just had surgery. It helps me remind me a bit, like bring me a bit back down to earth a bit, which is good.
Yeah.
A bit humbling.
And you sort of see how well you've done as well. Like you see from where you came from.
Yeah.
Even now I'll still say things that especially like in the run up to my surgery and how poorly I was. And I'm like, my goodness, I had to do that because I was so poorly. And I've got clothes in my wardrobe that are tiny. And I was like, I fit in those and they were loose. Do you know what I mean? It's just like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like our brains, I think generally like human beings, we're really good at when we've been through traumatic things or speaking for myself, that it's really good at blocking it out. So I can sometimes forget actually, I think, oh my God, I'm quite ill. But when I think of how ill I have been, like, my friend came to visit me in hospital Wednesday and he just said, he said, do you remember 2 years ago when you were stuck in that room for 3 months and you couldn't leave and you were intensive care and had cardiac arrests and look at you now. And it's like, yeah, even when I think I'm poorly, I'm not really as poorly as I was. Like I am, I'm more, it's my disease is more progressive, but I'm actually better because the bags have given me, it's another issue, another.
You're mentally healthier as well.
Yeah,
From everything you've told me, you're mentally healthier.
Well, we were talking yesterday, and it's quite 2 years ago, maybe less than that. Before, when I was abusing the medication, there's a lake where we are, and I was with one of my really close guy mates, and I said to him, I just want to walk into the lake and just drown, and it was like sitting there on Wednesday, it was really quite wow, like how far I've come mentally. So, and I hate to admit mental health and all that, and it's taken a long process, but how far I've come is pretty amazing. And that itself is a miracle.
Mental health is massively affected by I think when you're sick, and most people I've spoken to, like with IBD, they get depressed really easily. I took part on Monday or Tuesday, one of the two, in a survey for North Yorkshire mental health, maternity and mums, and she was quite shocked at how my anxieties, because I'm not depressed, but I have massive anxieties over everything. I just learned to cope with it, have stemmed from being sick. I remember being on antidepressants like at 12 or something daft, 12, 13, and that's really young, and it was just from being sick. But I think we might cover that next week, because I know a lot of people have had experience about it, even if it's short-lived. You know, it's so if anyone wants to take part in that, please, you know, send in stories.
Yeah, Sahara mentioned last week. I think she might be coming back on to help us with that one as well, mightn't she? But
yeah,
it's such a big thing.
Yeah, and I still struggle to today to admit, like, me abusing the pain medication is mental health or illness, but a mental health episode. And like, I still find it difficult to admit I've ever been depressed throughout my life, and like it's hard. I find it difficult. I've been on antidepressants for the last 9 years. I was originally given duloxetine as part of to try and combat my neurological pain, so with pregabalin and lamotrigine. And then when I was bad at one point, my GP said to double it to 120. So I was on a psychotic, antidepressant dose that I should never have been on for years. And so it's been about 2 months now I've been off the antidepressants, and I'm really feeling it. Like, I don't talk about it much. I did at the beginning, but I think I'm starting to level out a bit. But I was all over the place. I was really moody. I was crying because I don't normally cry, and it sort of made me realize how much the tablet, if you need it to help you short term and you need it, then fair enough. And it did help me at a time, but it came to a point where I decided I wanted to get off it. And I think it's your decision at the end of the day. Like, it did help me through rough times, and I think if you're on it, then that's okay, because if it helps you get through how what's going on in your life at that moment, then that's brilliant. But I decided that I was going to I'm trying it without it, and if I do get bad or a bit weird thoughts again, because I used to get thoughts about wanting to cut off the prolapse with a knife and stuff, and that's a bit bizarre, and scissors and cutting it off, because it used to annoy me so much, and all the
You'd be surprised how many people with like eating disorders feel like that. I wanted to cut my stomach off, and like I'm probably fatter now than I've ever. Well, no, just after Lyribeth, I was probably the fattest I'd ever been, and I was happier with myself than I was when I was thinner and thought I was fat. And there is a lot of people that feel like they want to chop that off. But I just want to say the live chat isn't working tonight because it wouldn't let me get in at all. It wouldn't let me do anything, even though I'm on the channel admin thingy. So I apologise for anyone that's trying to use it. I can't see it. And I do want to point out that Rachel's just created a new group for double baggers. If you want to quickly mention about that before we talk about
Thank you, Safi. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. Yeah, so I will, along with a few other ladies, are now admins of it's called the Double Bagger Ostomy Support Group, and I believe one of the admins for Ostomy Awareness, Phil, he started a double bag awareness group a few years ago, but they got, I think 30 was the maximum. And I'm under no illusions this time that we won't get many, because there aren't many of us around, but I think it's just really lovely. Like, I think we're 22 members now, like just today, and that is amazing. Like, because I don't know many double baggers really, and that is amazing. Like, I never knew there were that many of us, and it's just nice having like a little small community we can go to where we have, like we have similar experiences, like in hospital, people looking at us really like bizarrely, like kind of really confused, and trying to combat the whole urostomy awareness side of stuff, and you know, which bag do we change first? And it's just nice to go. And it was a lady that had just had that posted in another group that just had surgery for second ostomy, and it made me realise that there needs to be somewhere where we can all sort of talk to and help support each other. So yeah, so I'm excited about that, and I'm trying to hand over the reins tomorrow. So we're doing it the free admin that we've got, we're doing it on off kind of thing. So I'm going to try, and I've done today and then she'll do tomorrow. But yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you. I was worried, I was concerned that people might think we were segregating, but we are specific. Like, you do have to have 2 ostomies, or you at least have to have, like, they're thinking about doing a second ostomy surgery. Either you're a parent or somebody that's got 2, like ostomy, a child that's got ostomies, or your family member with a double ostomy. We are quite specific, but I think we have to be, because there aren't many of us, and trying to keep it.
You just face different challenges to what we would. You have the similar things with your ileostomy, like you have prolapses and stuff like that, but a double bag would always have different challenges as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to have that empathy with somebody. It's like, just knows what you're going through. And like, I don't know what it's like to have a urostomy because I don't have one, let alone having 2. So
I think we found,
whether people think it's segregating or not, it doesn't matter, because you're not. It's a support group.
I've not had any negative feedback yet, and I you know, I completely agree with it. You know, I not agree with it, but I get it. But I think we found that on groups, like, it's quite easy for us to get lost because there aren't many of us. It is easy for us not to sort of know each other. So we'll just see how it goes, and if it's a few of us, it's a few of us. I think it's just to help support each other, really. And it's quite amazing, like today, everybody's sharing their stories, and it's quite amazing how many other, like, I've met other people in kidney failure, which I didn't know that many with stomas, and how many people that have double bags or have other health issues as well. And there's loads of young ladies I've met, and guys, which is really good. So it's helping not just helping others, but it's helping my own journey as well. Because
it's not just ileostomies, colostomies, and urostomies, is it? There's another one, isn't there, that you allow?
Yeah. So when you have so a urostomy is basically, you can either have an ileoconduit or a neobladder. So it's a bit confusing, but an ileoconduit is a piece of bowel that they use where they attach the ureters to, and the bladder can still be there, but majority is removed. Or the neobladder is where you catheterize out of it. So it's a bit of bowel that you put a catheter into and then you empty. So you don't need to have an external bag. So there's like...
Well, there's a midwife that was looking after me, and her dad had one in his kidney.
Oh, really? Oh,
well, yeah.
What, a tube coming out into
she
a bag?
She said it was classed as it was definitely, yeah. Because
was
she
it
was asking me questions.
Was it a nephroscopy? Because that's... Yeah,
is that different?
Yeah, nephroscopy is, so, you know, where you have a catheter, because if you're in retention or in the bladder, nephroscopy is tubes that are in your kidneys. So they can have been in one kidney or both kidneys, and it's where the urine goes straight from kidneys to a bag attached to like a day bag called a nephroscopy. But it's not classed as an ostomy. But again, that's if you've got that and a stoma bag and are waiting to have some sort of surgery for an ostomy, then, you know, you would sort of qualify for the group. But the nephroscopy is like, there's been the bay I'm on at the moment, nearly everybody's got one. They're getting a lot more. I think there's more around this weather. I think there's a lot of kidney issues. I think because of dehydration.
People get dehydrated a lot easier,
yeah.
So what about the food? Did you actually stick to the 6-week low residue post-op?
No.
No, I didn't either.
Well, I actually got told by my doctor. He was like, go out and eat what you want. My stoma started working really quickly. By the next day, it was already active. So I was really lucky. But he was literally like, you just need to eat. You need to put weight on. You need to get back into eat, because obviously I'd not been eating a lot. I'd lost a lot of weight. And he was like, go for it. He was like, pizza, burgers. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the stuff he recommended was just rubbish. But the only thing I stuck to was the list the Stoma nurse gave me with sort of sweet corn, popcorn, those bits on it. I didn't obviously touch those, but I definitely didn't stick to low res.
That's
Not
what
you.
Not well, I say that, but I know I probably have. I've been keeping mostly low res anyway because I was on it for so long before my surgery. I sort of still don't eat potato skins and stuff like that, but.
Oh, don't you? Is that Steffi that eats the jackets, potato skins?
Yeah.
I mean.
You did, didn't you, the other week?
Well, my brother made me a crispy jacket potato, and I was like, oh, I just ate
nice.
it, and it was amazing. Potatoes. And
my mum does the same to me and then nicks my skin.
But
it's charming.
Potato skins, which are the best thing in the universe, give me blockages.
Yeah, I found that out
really bad
the other day.
that I throw up with. So
wow,
I can't do that. But I remember when I got home, my mum spent ages helping me roast vegetables off and peel the skins and blend it up so I could make sauces for pasta and stuff like that. And then like 3 weeks, and I was like, I eat what I want. And I do, like, I had popcorn the other night. I was like, haha. Well, I think I was still pregnant. I was like, I'm going to eat popcorn. And then I was like, admitted the next day. But not for
not
that.
For the popcorn.
Not for the popcorn. But what about you, Reg? Were you still a food rebel?
Well, no, surprise. Although it was a long time ago, I was so anal with my food for 2 years after surgery. I used to wind my ex up something rotten. He was like, I was so anal with it. I was just petrified of eating like anything really. I really stuck to it, I think, which is quite surprising now because I eat everything. But he used to really annoy me because I just used to be like, I used to cook vegetables and cook them for an hour, like, and he used to hate soggy vegetables and everything was overdone. And, you know, he used to get really frustrated that I wouldn't try, and now I just eat everything. And then I had refashion on my ileostomy a couple of years ago. And like the night before, I ate sweet corn and mango. Right, my consultant were mental with me the next day. He was like, "You ate the 2 worst things that you could eat with an ileostomy, and it was everywhere, and it was coming out." And yeah, I think it was a bit of a nightmare. And I saw him in the corridor a couple of days ago, and he said, "Do you remember that time when you had the sweet corn and mango?" He goes, "You're like the worst patient." So I think I've become a rebel in my old age and getting more comfortable with the ileostomy, but I am careful about. I had a bad cheese episode a few months ago.
Oh God,
it was really awful, and it was really bad. But I think it was having mouldy cheese and Stilton cheese and that, which wasn't great. And I am careful with that. But really, I should be a bit like Louise, and a bit more with it because of the short bowel syndrome. But I just think I love my food, and if I like something, I'll just put up with the consequence of it. Hence, going to London for 2 days, ended up in hospital for a week. Like, at least I had a good time in London. So that's kind of my attitude, whether it's right or wrong. But that's kind of, I live for the moment, I think.
Yeah.
Life is far too short to do to not. But I mean, I know Louise has written a post about post-op, things like that. But her diet is quite strict because it kind of has to be. She's got so many strictures, and it's not worth doing anything. Whereas I couldn't not have my veg at all. I just can't. I couldn't. I remember writing a post about the first time I ate salad, and I was like, I was so excited to eat salad again. And you were as well, Nat, when you had salad, because you were like,
well, I've just started, like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've started a food diary to try and get some more vegetables and salad and mainly that sort of stuff back into my diet. I still won't try sweet corn, but I did try peas and they've gone fine. The new potatoes with the skin on did not go well. Salad's mostly been all right. I can't do raw carrot.
No, raw carrot killed me.
But I think everything else so far, lettuce I've been sticking to like rocket and watercress, which has seemed okay. I seem to struggle a bit more with like iceberg lettuce. But yeah, beetroot, I've tried radish. I chop it up really small. I make like a mixed salad, chop everything up, dice it almost really small and mix it together, and then just chuck a bit in a bowl every day with some cheese on top or whatever I want to have with it that day.
Isn't that classed as like, isn't that a massive thing in like America anyway, chopped salad?
I think so, yeah, because it's something I've heard before, but that way I know it's already small. I'm trying to concentrate on chewing because I know I don't. But yeah, so it's quite nice to get. I just started feeling, I mean, it's been over a year now, and I've just started feeling really groggy and grotty, and I've been buying a lot more food that's just bung it in the oven, whereas I really enjoy cooking and I want to start cooking from scratch again. So
well, I ended up having an entire vegetarian day yesterday, and I was a bit annoyed because I made myself and Stephen tomato pasta with cherry tomatoes and stuff, and I was like, and when I'd made it, I was like, why did I not take the skins off the tomatoes? Because when I used to make it after Lyrabeth was born from scratch with like roasted red peppers and shallots and tomatoes, I would always take the skins off the tomatoes and then mush it up. And I don't know why I didn't do that this time, but that was a bit of a downside. And then I had like stuffed peppers, which I had again tonight. I had green peppers, which are tougher. Yeah. And a lot of people seem to struggle with the green ones more than the other colours.
I stick to red and yellow or orange. Yeah,
I just needed to use it up. I was like, can I really want that? So I had like, and I actually cooked if anyone saw my Instagram, where I had practically raw vegetables in it because I forgot to read the rest of the recipe. I actually cooked the vegetables in it tonight. So I had leek and courgette and carrot and green pepper with a salad. But there's no reason why you can't eat vegetarian or vegan. I mean, Tyler Sky, you've got Eric from Vegan Ostomy, and I mean, I'm starting a Meatless Monday thing on the regular where I talk about veg that you can eat and things like that. There's something out there for everyone. You just got to prepare it. You got to try in different ways. Like, I can't have raw beetroot anymore, and it's heartbreaking.
Oh, see, I've tried that and that went okay. I was waiting for the red bag, but because I think the amount of beetroot that I'd eaten wasn't obviously that severe.
I think I just
just
scoff it down and inhale it.
Yeah.
So same with raw carrot.
I did have, because this was mentioned on the post when I'd asked people their ideas about what we could talk about. And one lady mentioned about attitude to food rather than sort of what you can and can't eat, almost the rules, or I suppose. And she was sort of saying because she'd had so many problems before her surgery with eating causing pain, she really struggled afterwards, and it took her a good couple of years to sort of get back into eating and enjoying food. I couldn't identify it. I love food, and literally as soon as they said eat what you want, I've never eaten so much in all my life. I just loved it. After my surgery, I was eating everything in sight. But sorry, Steve's still trying to get online, bless him, but I don't think it's working. But no, I thought that was quite a good point, because it's not just about what you're told you can and can't eat. Sometimes it's sort of your fear of things, isn't it? I mean, I know that I was starvingly hungry at times before my surgery, and it was awful because, but every time I ate, it was just causing so much pain that I couldn't eat anymore. And that's quite a big thing, I think.
For me, I was always told you can eat as much dairy as you want, ice cream and things like that. And I could only really have chocolate ice cream, chocolate yogurt and cheese that didn't make me really ill. The dairy products just absolutely annihilated me.
Yep, sick.
But I was told I couldn't eat veg. I could eat so many vegetables, because I only really didn't like onion, which really ever irritated my ulcers, and still onion is like my nemesis, so that can just go and die for all I care. I don't like sweet corn. Not probably since I was little. It's horrific. And mushrooms, I'll only eat now. Chopped up tiny and sauteed.
See, mushrooms I allow myself to have because I love them, and I have had full slices of mushroom come out in my bag. So I learnt my lesson about chewing and think if I really, really still want to eat them, I have to be careful. And I'm wondering, I had them at lunchtime and I've got a slightly sore belly this afternoon, so I'm wondering whether that's what caused that. But
I find chickpeas sometimes come out whole.
Yeah, baked
Stuff in
beans.
my
If you
face.
miss a baked bean, you find them in your bag. But no, I let myself have mushrooms. But if I'm like, I made a risotto the other day, and my kids are a bit fussy, and they say they don't like mushrooms, but actually they don't really mind them. But I just chop them up really small because it's obviously easier for me. Then I'm not worrying about them being massive going through, and they don't know they're there, so they eat it. So in cooking, mushrooms are pretty good.
I think it's just, you just got to try it. Like, some people find they can have things roasted or sauteed, but they can't have them boiled or raw. You just got to find. And if you want to be like Louise, who anally skinned an entire tin of chickpeas after I told her just to take the loose ones off, she literally went through an entire tin and just popped them all out. You can do that if you want, or you can just do, like, I know I'm okay with them. I pop off the ones I can tell that are loose, and I take out the loose ones that are just in the tin. But my issue is just, I need to chew. I need to just think about chewing. One of coming up,
it's tomorrow's.
It was yours, wasn't it? You chose mindful eating. So mine is probably going to be to chew my goddamn food and actually just. Sorry, I just got a message off Louise saying she is anal. Especially with food. She just is noodles about noodles. That woman.
She does.
All she eats is noodles.
Hello, I'm so sorry.
She's not.
She's
It's all right. But it's really funny because, okay, so my data just died because I'm using it up, and I just bought some more. And Steve's trying to get in, and we both ended up in the same, like, we're in the wrong group. We're like, oh my god, we're in the wrong one. So I don't know if he's tried this one, but we were sorry, it was quite funny trying to get back in. Bless him, he can't find the right link.
He can't. I've sent him the link, but he said it's not working. He's keeping trying.
We just ended up in the same link, so we were just talking for 5 minutes and then tried the right one.
Well, we can't see you now. I've just got the little person.
How about now?
No. Your face is not even there.
Can you see me now?
Oh wait. Hold on. Yes.
I can see my pale face. Okay. Hi, I'm back.
It's all right. I've got no makeup on. But yeah. So, what else? We were just talking about food and what we do. If, like, Louise takes off the skins of chickpeas, and like I saute stuff soft or roast things. Is there anything you do with veg? Because I know you eat a lot of veg because you're like me.
Are you talking to me?
Oh,
Rebel.
Yeah, I'll just eat it now. I'll just eat the lettuce. I find cucumber helps with the ileostomy smell, and I got told that one of my mates was on the ward, and an ileostomy patient told her and then told me, and that's quite good. So I eat cucumbers like by the spice, whatever. So I eat the cucumber a lot, and but vegetables I just eat it normally now. I don't think I love spinach. I'll just eat it normal. But at the beginning, I remember I used to overcook it way too much, and I used to like boil it over.
You cook it. Well,
yeah.
Wow! I tell you what, I'm getting words at this. You know what it was? I didn't click the little bar that says I agree. That was it. How are we doing? We're okay. That's 10 minutes left.
We're just talking about to the post-op diet that you get, you know, your little list of eat this, don't eat that. Did you?
Not really. I didn't really get one, to be fair. They kind of told me just trial and error. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've learned what blocks and what doesn't. No, they didn't give me a list. They said try everything, and if it works, then carry on. If it doesn't, you know, learn along the way.
Yeah.
Noodles is a big no-no.
And bean sprouts for you, I'm pretty sure.
Bean sprouts. Well, it is bean sprouts, really. It's not so much noodles and peanuts, which I learned to my expense.
Peanuts are bad. I got a blockage.
Oh, I love peanuts.
From a Snickers bar, because I don't eat peanuts. I don't even like them except when they're in Snickers bars. And I had a little mini bun-sized one. And oh my God, the agony.
Oh.
I'm all right with little amounts, but I come back from Asda once. I'd done a full month shopping, and I had a bag of peanuts, and I had about 4 or 5 handfuls, and then the next day, no movement for about 18 hours.
Wow.
Then I sneezed, and the whole bag filled up with peanuts.
See, I can eat nuts and seeds, and I'm fine.
Yeah,
I remember being terrified when I just had my surgery, and I was like, I had a massive issue when it came down to the food. Ferrero Rochers are a bad idea over Christmas for her. But like, I've noticed that they don't cater for a low res diet. I mean, I used to work in a patient's kitchens when they did cater for it because it was all made on site. They don't, obviously can't make it on site now. Just reheat it. But my issue is like I'm predominantly vegetarian. I will eat ham and I will eat chicken, and I will only eat beef if it's in like bolognese or lasagna. The push.
Yeah,
and
see,
they don't
I
even
love
cater for
roast,
that.
but I do try and keep that to a minimum because it's not good for my belly.
Red meat used to irritate my ulcerative colitis, but it's not too bad now. I just don't like it.
See, I love beef.
I found that the going back to what you said about noodles, like I've noticed recently, like although I still eat them, but I've noticed that they've caused me a lot of pain. Like I don't know whether I've got a bit of a wheat intolerance or, you know, nothing major, but I have noticed that it's been causing me pain. But I will still vow that beetroot is still the most scariest thing, because whenever I have beetroot, I always forget, and then I think, oh my God, I'm hemorrhaging from my bags, both of them. And then it's like, oh yeah, I had beetroot.
It even does that if you eat beetroot crisps, because I ate them when I was in hospital.
Yeah, the vegetable crisps. I know that, because that one time really scared me because I forgot. I didn't think it would be that bad, but if they were, both of them were just dark purple.
Even I was like, I've only just remembered. And I was like, I nearly panicked, and he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, I forgot I ate beetroot," and he just kind of looked at me and went, "Like, I don't want to know. I don't care about things like that." So. He's honest though. The poor guy, like he saw my stoma for the first time last Monday, just after our baby was born. Bag on, and it was flat. I have a convex bag, and they cut it at like 40 to 45 mil. There was just this massive gaping hole around my stomach. I was like, oh, well, we got one we thought fit, and I'm like, if you thought there was a risk of you doing anything to my stoma bag, I would have provided you with. Bag. It was just lucky that my stoma's only just started to work this week, which has been horrific and still hurts. Something to it because she was awful. So if you've read my post, you'll understand why.
Gosh, that post really got me. Like I wasn't hysterically crying, but I was tearful reading it because I just can't imagine. And like, because we've been there through your admission the week before, which was horrific, and so they didn't do much. It was quite. To read that, it was quite, and then also to read that they can't find your fallopian tube. It's really quite concerning, but you just sort of flap it off a little bit in your writing. But it is actually quite worrying. Like, where is it gone? Because it can't just disappear.
Yeah,
I think it's worrying how much stuff they put down to your IBD or a stoma, when it could be something else. I think that's always quite concerning. Yeah.
doesn't even have, you don't even have to be pregnant. It could be anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because obviously there's a lot of blokes that, blokes can't get pregnant, can they? But there's a lot of blokes that get put in hospital and they've generally got something wrong with them that's not to do with their stoma or IBD. And it's like, oh, well, it's this, it's that. And it's like, well, no, it's really not.
Yeah.
Well, I've been a bit worried, like at the moment, because they have noticed this little bit of a stenosis on my left hand side, but they don't know why it's causing me this much pain. And like, I've been thinking, is there something in the rectum, like, because I got diverticulitis colitis there, whether that's flared up, and I've actually even thought, because recently, and this has me being open, sex has been a bit painful in certain positions, whether there's a little something on the left ovary or something, because it is right low, but because I've got a stoma, they just put it down to the conduit. And I was thinking today, going, do I ask for an ultrasound scan just to rule it out? Because the pain, although it's better, it's still there. So it's hard, because when you've got a stoma, it's easy to put it down to, but it could be other stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's always worth a second opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, there's a girl that I'm talking to in Australia who is going through exactly the same thing as me. They blame, she's basically in labour, and they've turned around and said, oh, it's your stoma, it's your stoma, it's your stoma. And it's like, because she's had a show and she's dilated, she's in labour, it's not her damn stoma, but they're just, in the hospital she's at, they've never met someone with a stoma and been pregnant before.
And when and when they're not specialised, this is what frustrates me, and I've been talking about today. I think when they don't know and they're not specialised in it, they like to point it in that direction because it's easy to blame it, and it's annoying because it's kind of, sometimes different departments don't like taking responsibility. Like I found that before with my colorectal, urology, neurology, all the other ones I'm under, like that they not want to take control, and it's like it is frustrating because you're left there struggling, going, what's going on, because there's only limited experts in it.
I mean, it's got to be the same with guys when it comes to not just fertility, but some men do suffer like erectile dysfunction with it because they can nick it,
especially
a nerve or something, and
especially with the ostomy, it's very common.
And like, it must be terrifying for a guy to have to deal with that. It's bad enough them turning around and saying that women can't get pregnant with a stoma.
Yeah, it's worrying. I was giving the warnings about that, but obviously the same's gonna happen when I go for the final op. And they removed the rectum. They said exactly the same. Then there's a good chance. Well, there's a chance. They've got to give you warnings, haven't they?
Yeah.
But it's probably one of the most worrying things, really, isn't it, for a man to lose that function?
The woman with her fertility, I guess, as well.
When I worked in cancer and oncology unit, I was put on the machine that we did. I had a lot of patients with prostate cancer, and I was very good at getting people to open up about sex and talk about their sexual life. And it's a huge issue, erectile dysfunction, and a lot of urostomies are down to bladder cancer. Not all, but there are quite a high number. It'd be interesting to know how many. And then erectile dysfunction is a major issue, especially if the prostate's been removed. And it must be hard because we think we have difficult with fertility, but if you actually have to, get it up and stuff, that can be difficult. Hard.
Yeah, you're not even having a sex life, are you? Then it's not just about the getting pregnant thing.
Well, my consultant said, he said basically, if that does happen, we've got to give you the warnings about it. He says there's always the little blue pill, but that become quite a nightmare if you have to rely on that all the time.
Nobody wants to take more medication when you're already either on medication or you've taken it for a long time.
And the thing is, so many guys have ileostomies quite young. So starting that when you're sort of 70 years old is a bit different to having an ileostomy at 20 and thinking that's your life from then on.
Well, it's 9 o'clock, so I'm going to have to wrap it up. Next week, we are going to talk about dressing with an ostomy, which Natalie has spoken a lot about on her blog, so please have a look at that. And how having a stoma or having IBD or being sick has affected your mental health. please get in touch
Well, that'd be an
with us
interesting
about
one.
all of. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I'd like both Steve and Sahara to join. So if you want to, feel free.
Next week.
Yes.
Okay. So sorry I'm so late.
It's all right. You got
It's
there
all
at the
right.
end.
I'm still laughing at us in
Oh,
the page going, oops, I think we're in the wrong chat. That was funny.
I find
Right,
everyone
so-
else except for the main group.
Got here in the end. So it's bye from us. So hopefully hear from you next week.
Bye.
Bye.